guys, assalamu alaikum. It's Jenaji. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my kitchen. So Diwali is right around the corner, and you know a lot of us are looking forward to those Diwali sweets and treats. So this week is all about the Diwali sweets. First video we're starting up with is ladoo. So it's basically a combination of split peas powder, and you have the condensed milk in there, your spices, and then you just hold it together with that pag or that sugar mixture. And like every other food item, there are so many different variations. Some people prefer a more yellow, some people prefer more orange ladoo, some people prefer absolutely smooth ladoo, others prefer with a little crunch on it. Either way though, this Indian sweet is something. If you've never made a sweet before, you'll want to try this one. I will be honest with you though and say that these sweets are not my strong point in any way at all, but I wanted to do these sweets for you, this video for you guys. So the approach to in this video and the other videos, as you will see, is more like me just giving some pointers and some guidelines based on what I would have encountered or what I would have learned or picked up on while I was experimenting with these different sweets. So we're going to go into it step by step, and I'm going to be giving you guys some guidelines as we go along. So first of all, these are all the ingredients that we will need for this particular recipe. Now bear in mind, you can find the full measurements and the full list of the written recipe actually on my website, listed down below on the screen there, so you guys could check that out. Now the first thing you want to do is put some oil to heat up in a pot on your stove. And then while that's heating up, what we're going to be doing is combining the split peas powder, powdered milk, some of that elaichi goes in there as well. We're going to mix that up. And then we're going to add in some water, a bit at a time. So you're going to mix this up until all the ingredients come together. Now the dough doesn't have to be very smooth or very fluid. So the amount of food coloring that you're going to be using and even the color will all depend on you. So some people prefer the yellow ladoo more than the orange, some people prefer more on the orange side. So you can play around with that. The amount you want to use, of course, depends on you as well. So when you add the water to this part of it, now you don't need to knead it. It does not need to be a smooth dough or anything like that. And you can actually leave it a little runny as well. It's all up to you, because the next step would be to fry what we just made there with the combination with the split peas powder and the water. So what you're going to be doing is just taking small pieces and putting it to fry. So my dough was not too runny, it was more on the slightly firm but not firm side. So I just broke pieces off and rolled them into a bowl and put them to fry. If you have it a little more runny mixture, just carefully use your spoon or use a spoon and just drop some in bit by bit. You don't want to fry them for too long to get too dark. You're just going to fry them until they have a light sort of brownish color, and then you're just going to remove it from the oil and set it aside. Now the next step would be to put it into a food processor, or if you have a mill, because the next thing that you want to do is grind it or process it until it's a nice fine, very fine crumbs. So we'll just track back a bit. The reason for putting these small pieces to fry was because you don't want to end up with too many large pieces when you're putting it into your food processor or your mill. So what's going to happen is, if you do add, like you have a big piece and then you have a small piece and you put it into the food processor, the big piece wouldn't be crushed as fast as the smaller piece. So you're going to be left with a lot of chunks in it, and it will throw off the consistency and the texture of your ladoo. So you want to bear that in mind. So basically try to keep them as small as possible and as similar in size as possible as well, to save yourself that extra work in this food processing or grinding step. Next, you're going to be adding the crumbs to a bowl, and you're going to be adding your condensed milk and more of that elaichi. You're going to combine that well. Now we're going to be preparing the pag or the sugar mixture, which is simply just water and sugar that you're going to put into a pot, and you're just going to bring it to a boil and keep it until the sugar starts to get a little thick, until that mixture starts to thicken up a little bit. But you don't want it to be so thick where it starts to thread, and you don't want it too liquidy either. So it has to get a little thick, because this is what you're going to be using to hold your ladoo together. So once it has thickened up, you're going to carefully add it to that mixture, that crumbs that we have in the bowl with the condensed milk and the lychee, and you're going to use your spoon and just turn it up a little bit. Now be careful here, guys, because this is very, very hot. So use your spoon, keep turning it up until it cools down a little bit, and cool enough for you to use your hand, because now you're going to be forming your ladoo. So you're going to be taking a little bit in your hand and just rolling it into the balls, whatever size that you like. Make sure you kind of get them smooth there and just set them aside. So another way of doing this would be actually to add that split peas mixture, the fried crumbs, into the pan with the sugar mixture, and just cook that up there. Make sure it dries out a little bit and it thickens up, it firms up a little bit, and then you're going to use your hands again and just form the balls. So either way, I've done them both ways. I don't think there was much of a difference in any preference for my taste, to be honest with you. I think it's just all up to you. But I will tell you guys though, when you are adding the pag or the sugar mixture to your crumbs, as with any Indian sweet, add a little at a time. This is just to make sure that you don't add too much to your mixture and it can't hold together. So once you have all your ladoo rolled out, you're just going to set this aside and let it cool a little bit, and guys, you just made some ladoo. So I thought I'd show you guys, this is what they look like the first few times that I tried it out. I did not give it enough time in the food processor. I did not process it enough, so you can see a lot more of the chunks in it there. Now this was when I did it, coming down to the last bit of experimenting, and it was a little smoother, but it still had some of the clumps or chunks in it. So just remember, if you do want absolutely smooth ladoo, you need to get that step of the grinding or the food processing done properly. No crumbs at all. Do a little at a time and make sure you have it crumbs, very, very fine. And I think for this, I'm getting a mill, you know, those old school ones that I remember using with my grandmother, where you actually mill and you actually grind it like this. I think that actually is a better way to go. If you're using a food processor, make sure you have those fine crumbs. So just in case when you roll out your ladoo, it is a little moist on the inside, don't worry about it, because after a little while it dries up, not in a bad way. So don't worry about that if it is a little moist on the inside. Of course, you don't want it that moist where you can't even hold its shape, because that means that something went wrong with the sugar mixture. So that brings us to the end of our ladoo video, guys. So this was quite a bit of experimenting. Thanks much to my tasters and to the ones who would have given me the little feedback and all of that. It's like, I'm being honest with you guys, this is not really my strong point, but I absolutely enjoyed the challenge. And I got the taste down for sure, so you guys have to try it out. I hope the video was helpful for you who are going to be making it for the first time. Just in case you guys, some of you were probably confused about certain steps, well, I hope the video was helpful. So just remember, it's just about the split peas powder, your powdered milk, your spice. You're going to combine that with your water, put it to fry. Keep it small in small pieces, then you're just going to process or grind that until it's very fine crumbs, and then you're just going to be combining that with your condensed milk, more spice, and your pag mixture, your sugar mixture, and that is your ladoo. Who would have thought ladoo is really not that hard to make? So just practice with it. You guys use my guidelines as guidelines, and I hope you guys try the ladoo video soon. It was fun making it. Couple of times that I did over and over again, but hey, we got there. So thanks so much for watching this video. Of course, comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Yellow, more on the orange side ladoo, or very, very smooth, or slight crunch in your ladoo. Comment down below, let me know. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Always very much appreciated. I will see you